Hey guys, I'm so happy you're here. Let's talk about building this legacy. Yes. So today, well, as you know, my name is Afua Jones. I am a nationwide board certified credit consultant. Hey, let's talk Finance Fridays. Thank you guys for joining us. We're so happy you're here. As you know, this is Afua Jones, your host here on Finance Fridays. So we've heard you guys loud and clear, and we want to jump right into it. We have a distinguished guest for you this evening. We're going to be bringing on Mr. Thomas Harrelson to talk to us about the PPP program and the EIDL program. So if you don't know anything about how you can possibly access some money and some information on how do you qualify and how to get after these funds, this is the show that you want to tune into. Tag a friend, get on the hotline, let everybody know it is going down. So thank you guys so much for being on with us today. Mr. Harrelson, thank you so much. You were finally able to book you on the SOS show, Finance Friday.
Thank you for having me. I definitely appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, sir. So I want to tell everybody about you before we get started so they know who they have before them. So Thomas Harrelson has been, there you go. He has been in the business building industry for over 20 years. He specializes in business development, growth, business development and business growth, entity setup, articles of incorporation setup, tax education, tax preparation, and bookkeeping, to name a few. And I can definitely attest to working with him in business development. I actually started working with him immediately after becoming an entrepreneur. And he is just a great mentor of mine. He's definitely helped me set up my nonprofit, definitely my taxes, entities, all of that kind of stuff. He is my go-to guy. And I know quite a few out there can attest to that because you all have used his services. And he's just a pro at this PPP stuff and this EIDL, and you guys have just been asking so much about it. So we really wanted to bring him on and have him talk to us about it. So first of all, thank you for being here. Please tell us a little bit about, what you want, what you are currently working on, what type of projects you have, and what you want to share with us right off the bat.
Right now, we're definitely working with our current clients who have applied for the PPP and also for the EIDL programs. And a lot of them are getting kicked back. So we're working with SCORE, which is an organization that's a nonprofit that helps these business owners make sure their documentation is on par so that the process can go smoothly. And that's one of the biggest challenges that a lot of small business owners, especially minority business owners, are having. A lot of their paperwork is not set up, or they're not understanding exactly what it is that's being required of them when they get declined. So that's what we are basically focusing on and working on at this particular point.
And that's exactly what really drew our attention, because we were fielding all of the questions that we were getting. And here on Finance Fridays, we really want to bring the best expert in to address where we see we're getting the bulk of the concerns. And this was it, knowing the process, understanding the process, and knowing how to amend properly. So I want to take it back a little bit, because we all hear PPP, girl, get the PPP. Well, what does PPP stand for? What does EIDL stand for? Could you help us understand that a little bit?
PPP is a paycheck protection program. And basically what it was for is when COVID-19 hit, it affected a lot of businesses. One of the businesses, especially for my clients, that was hit the most and the hardest were your salons and barbershops, because I know in the state of Virginia, not only were they not allowed to go to the office, but if they were caught working from their homes, they would have been fined. So, industries like that were forbidden from working, even from home, they end up having to take a loss and they lost a lot of revenue. They lost a lot of profit. So what Congress decided to do was put together a PPP program, the Protection Paycheck Program, so they can pay their employees, pay themselves, and pay some outstanding bills that they may have had. So that's how that program got started. EIDL is the education. No, excuse me, is uh, the economic injury disaster loan, and basically that's just an extension or another branch or another version of the PPP, and it covered everything that the EIDL does. I mean, everything that the PPP does not cover, like your rent, like your utilities, any expenses that your business would acquire, even down to your what they call COGS, cost of goods and services, like the things that you pay for to help your business run. Like for instance, I own an accounting firm. That software costs money, so I have to pay an annual fee for that software. Well, if my company was experiencing financial hardship due to COVID, I still got to pay that bill in order to take care of my current clients. So it allows for things of that nature.
And true to form, true to how we introduced you with education, just the fact that you took the time to explain it, you took the time to understand the parameters around it and how to move and amend within it. This is why we really like to connect our audience with this type of information, because it's not just, okay, how do I get it, but what is it for? How do I function within it? Not just how to get the money, but how to really move within it. So I really thank you for that. And so even though we know, and I do want to point out, even though we know that the PPP program ended, the deadline was July 31st, and we had talked about this, that it's still important to understand and about it and how to possibly move in it, because
we're still suffering, and a lot of small businesses are suffering from the effects of COVID-19, and with the Delta variant looming and potential rumors of another government shutdown, again, those businesses will be in dire straits, and they may have to bring back the PPP program for 2022. So just because it's closed now does not mean that it will be closed later. So now that you know that it exists, you can always be on the lookout for them to bring it back if in the event that they decide to bring it back. And if you are in your communities and in close contact with your constituents and voting blocks, you can actually encourage them to bring it back so that you'll be ready the next time it's available.
Yes. And look at the statistics here, guys. SBA's Paycheck Protection Program reached more Black women business owners in 2021. They released details showing data that more than 11.7 million PPP loans, shedding light on this year's list of recipients. So Black girl power is in full effect, guys. And so we always talk about being ready so that we don't have to get ready. And this is why we want to share this information. And I also wanted to bring out, because we talking about the deadline, because they've already extended it once. Isn't that correct?
Right. The deadline was for June. Well, the deadline was in October of 2020. Then they extended it to July of 2021, just like the deadline for the EIDL loan was for December 31st, 2020. So they extended it to December 31st, 2021. And I'm suspecting that more than likely they will continue to extend it, because there's still billions of dollars out there that have not been claimed.
And we want to know all about that right here on Finance Friday. So let's get into it a little bit. So what are the criteria for being able to how do we qualify for these loans? What do we need to do?
Well, basically, you just have to be either some type of registered business, S Corp, C Corp, LLC, LLP, which stands for Limited Liability Partnership. You can even be a sole proprietor, as long as your business is registered within your state. Now, for your sole proprietors, only thing you had to do was file your 1040 form and attach a Schedule C to it. So if you were operating your business prior to February 12th, 2020, and you experienced a loss in 2020, and it was greater than your 2019 or 2018 returns, then you would qualify for it. But I must specify that your business, if you are an LLC, your LLC has to be registered, and it must be in good standing. You also have to have it be active. And again, if you are LLC, limited liability partnership, S corp, or C corp, you have to register with your state corporate commission. And if you're a sole proprietorship, again, you just have to make sure that you filed your returns with that Schedule C attached, and it was before February 12th, 2020. So as long as you're operating your business legitimately, and it is a legal business, and you suffered a loss during the COVID period, then you would qualify for it.
Okay. Okay. And so we already talked about, even though the deadlines are there, you still want to make sure that you have everything. You want to be active. You want to make sure you have all your paperwork straight. What are some of the misconceptions about the PPP?
A lot of people got caught up in scams. So people were actually allowing other organizations or entities to file for them. And there was no Schedule C attached. There was no legitimate business. They were filing false reports for employees. And when the IRS started doing their investigation, like they always do when it comes to income, come to find out that people were getting millions of dollars in this PPP money and they didn't even have a business. So you have to have a business, and it has to be a legitimate business, and it has to be a registered business, and it has to have a business that follow all the proper protocols when it comes to running the business. You had to have, if you didn't have employees, then you have to at least have contractors, and you had to have filed 1099s and at least have them fill out a W-9 so that all that stuff goes on file. So as long as your business is operating correctly, you can have that. Another misconception about the PPP program is that it's really simple to get the money. It takes time to get that money in many cases because most people don't have the proper paperwork, or when they get declined, they don't know what to do moving forward. So that was another misconception. Another misconception is, it's based off of everybody that's on YouTube. They think it's a scam. They don't think that it's a real situation, or real businesses don't get PPP. That only people that are scammers are applying for the PPP, and that had a lot to do with the individuals that end up getting convicted or under indictment because they weren't legitimate business. But there are a lot of legitimate businesses. Some of the businesses that we know about, Fortune 500 companies, have applied and were granted PPP loans. So it's not a scam. It actually exists, but you don't want to get scammed trying to apply for the PPP.
I like the way you said that. Yes, yes. And I know, for my business, many of my clients are getting it and are grateful for it. And we want to make sure that many more are prepared for it. So I definitely thank you for that. Look, can we talk a little bit more about the EIDL, since that is actually still going on until the end of December? How would I find out if I qualify? What do I need to do to get the ball rolling to qualify for that money? Do I have to pay it back? Is there a forgiveness program attached to it?
For the EIDL, it's basically a loan. There is no forgiveness program for it. So you do get a low interest rate. It is a 30-year loan. And the whole purpose of it is for you to get back on your feet, because if your business is running legitimately, that money that is loaned to you will get you back on your feet, so you can take care of your employees, hire your employees, upgrade your software, or things of that nature. The one thing that you cannot do or use that money for is for repairs. You cannot use EIDL money to repair your business. You can use EIDL money to take care of your business and grow your business, but you can't use it to repair infrastructure. So one of the key things that I always talk to small business owners about is making sure that you have a bookkeeper. I would suggest you get a bookkeeper before you get a tax professional. And the reason why that is because your tax professionals, whether they're a tax attorney, an accountant, or a tax professional that uses, off the retail software like TurboTax, they're going to get their information from a bookkeeper, because they either have a bookkeeper on staff or they're the ones actually doing the bookkeeping themselves. Whereas if you have a bookkeeper and your business is just starting, it's more economically feasible to get a bookkeeper when your business is just starting, because it's going to cost you less than $800 for that whole year. Whereas if your business has been up and running for about 5 years, some companies will charge you anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to reconcile your books every year. So if you're just getting started, or your business hasn't been running a lot and you haven't had a lot of transactions through that account, I would highly suggest that you get a bookkeeper first before you get an accountant or a tax professional to take care of your books and take care of your taxes.
See them gems right there, y'all. That's why I love working with Mr. Harrelson. So that's just great information, and it is extremely economical to do. And like you said, it's wise. And I tell people all the time, if you are sick, go to a doctor. If you need your credit fixed, come to Afua Jones. But if you want to know about that EIDL or that PPP or bookkeeping or tax information or setting up your business entity or business development, you want to go to Mr. Harrelson. So that is great. That's a great nugget right there. And guys, he does do free consultations. You can definitely inbox us if you need some more information on how to contact him. But we did have his information up on the screen, and we'll make sure that it's in the post when we have it go up. So any other information about EIDL that you want us to know about?
Yes. When it comes to the EIDL and it's how it operates, the key thing that you got to understand is look at it from the standpoint of an investor. When an investor invests in your business, they want to make sure you have everything set and ready. As business owners, it is our responsibility and ours alone to make sure our books and our accounts and our affairs are in order. What you don't want to have happen is be declined for EIDL loan or any type of loan because your affairs are not in order. And that's the reason why I emphasize getting a bookkeeper. And another thing that you may want to pay attention to is when you apply for your EIDL loan and they're going to send you a 4506T, which is a transcript request. This is important. When you fill out that transcript request, make sure that you put down the correct form. What I mean by that is if you are a sole proprietor and you had your taxes prepared for your business and you had a 1040 with a Schedule C, the form that you want to put on there is a 1040, and make sure the address is correct because they're going to send it and the IRS is only going to look for that form. If you put down some other form and that form is not found because it doesn't exist or it's for another business that doesn't qualify for EIDL or anything else, it's going to come back not verifiable. So you want to make sure that you have the right form on that 4506T to ensure that when it comes back with those transcripts so they can then move forward. For instance, if you have a schedule, a S Corp, that would be the 1120S, that stands for S Corp. And make sure the address for your business is correct. Don't do like some of my clients do. They'll put their home address, but on their 1120S, they put their business address. So if the business address doesn't match up, then it'll come back unverified. So you want to make sure that you have the right form and you have the right address that corresponds with that form.
I'm so glad you said that. We talk about that when we talk about business credit all the time, about how everything needs to match. And this is just yet another example of how when we're separating our personal finances from our business, we need to make sure everything is matching and we're doing everything. And the thing that one thing that I often hear from people is, oh, I didn't know I could change that. Everything is amendable. And so if you don't know, if you're not sure, begin, and this is the purpose of this show, begin to gather this information together and get it together so that you are ready. And so with that being said, we just said that you have the free consultations, but if someone wants to reach you to just have a free consultation to talk about, hey, can you look at my stuff? What do I need? What do I not? Do you have a checklist or anything like that? If anybody wants to talk to you, what's the best way for them to do that?
The best way to reach me is through my website, www.mytmhglobal.com. That's www.mytmhglobal.com. Or you can call our office number or text our office number at 703-829-7277. Again, that's 703-829-7277. You get a quicker response if you text.
Yes, you do. And we'll make sure that information is up. And so I just really want to thank you just for, everything that you've done for me personally and professionally, how I've just, you just really have helped me with my learning curve as it pertains to just stepping into entrepreneurship and business development. And really, guys, it just kind of goes beyond this. I hope that this show inspires you to think about that nonprofit that you talked about. That is something that Thomas can definitely help you with. So don't hesitate to reach out for a consultation about that, because there's so much money out there under bringing, your passion to action and, being part of the bigger picture and helping those in your community and getting paid to do so. And there's funds out there for that. And so one thing that I appreciated that I learned from his business development is just broaden my horizon to learn how much stuff is really out there. And he's just a great resource for that. So beyond, just the loans and the money, we definitely hope to have you back to be able to talk about some other resources that are out there. But definitely, guys, this is a great resource to find out how you can access some funds for your business and keep that legacy going and building our community. Thomas is definitely all about that. So we just want to thank you for your time this evening, for taking the time to talk to our audience and your audience. And guys, keep the questions coming. Keep coming at us with the different topics that you want us to come out. We are definitely going to be doing a show about a trucking school. A female trucking school. Awesome. So we want to talk about these different streams of income that you can have out and people that are actually out there doing it. He has clients that he's actually getting money for and accomplishing this. So we want to bring experts on that are going to give you the resources and tools for you to put your feet to action. So thank you so much for joining us here on Finance Fridays. As always, make sure you see us again next Friday on the SOS show with Afua Jones. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having me.
I know they gon' remember me, 'cause I'm gon' leave a legacy.